Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 3, Verse number 4. Ritvija uchuhu arhasi muhur arhatatmaranam asmaram anupathanam namo nama iti etavat sad upasitam prarhati Puman prakriti gunavyatitara matirani sa iswarasya parasya prakriti purusayo arvatatan tanabir nama rupakriti virupa nirupanam Satala jana nitaya vrijina nirishana sivatama Pravara druna dranaita desa tatha nadrite. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The priest began to offer prayers to the Lord, saying, O most worshipable one, we are simply your servants. Although you are full in yourself, please, out of your causeless mercy, accept a little service from us, your eternal servants. We are not actually aware of your transcendental form, but we can simply offer our respectful obeisances again and again, as instructed by the Vedic literatures and authorized acharyas. Materialistic living entities are very much attracted to the modes of material nature, and therefore they are never perfect. But you are above the jurisdiction of all material conceptions. Your name, form, and qualities are all transcendental and beyond the conception of experimental knowledge. Indeed, who can conceive of you in the material world? We can perceive only material names and qualities. We have no other power than to offer our respectful obeisances and prayers unto you, the transcendental person. The chanting of your auspicious transcendental qualities will wipe out the sins of all mankind. That is the most auspicious activity for us, and we can thus partially understand your supernatural position. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has nothing to do with the material perception. Even the impersonalist Shankaracharya says, Narayana Paro Vyaktat Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is beyond the material conception. We cannot contrast the form and the attributes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We must simply accept the description given in Vedic literature about the Lord's form and activities. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Chinta Mani Pratarasadma Sutalpa Vriksha Latsa Vrite Susurabir Abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusam Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, yielding all desires, in abodes built with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of purpose trees. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. We can have some conception of the absolute truth, his form and his attributes simply by reading the description given in Vedic literatures and authoritative statements given by exalted personalities like Brahma, Narada, Sutadev Goswami, and others. Srila Rupa Goswami says, Atha Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet rahyam indriyai. We cannot conceive the name, form, and qualities of Sri Krishna through our material senses. Because of this, other names for the Lord are Adodsaja and Aprakrita, which indicates that He is beyond any material senses. Out of His causeless mercy upon His devotees, the Lord appeared before Maharaj Nabi. Similarly, when we engage in the Lord's devotional service, the Lord reveals Himself to us. Sevon mutehi jihvadav swayam eva spuratyadaha. This is the only way to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Patyamam abhichanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service. There is no other way. We have to hear from the authorities and from the Shastras and consider the Supreme Lord in terms of their statements. We cannot imagine or concoct forms and attributes of the Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose.
Where Maharaj Nabi was performing sacrifices, pleased by his devotion, the Lord in his eight-armed form has appeared. And Maharaj Nabhi is accompanied by many of his associates and priests. And all of a sudden they were able to see the Lord present before them. And the priests who are present, they began to offer prayers. And that is what we are seeing today. Prithvija Ujuhu. Prithvija, this is the priests, and they started speaking. Arhasi muhur arhattama arhanam. Arhattama, your arhana means to worship. Arhanam. Arhasi muhur arhattama arhanam. Arhasi arhanam. They are praying, please accept our arhanam, our offer of worship, because you are the arhattama, you are the most worshipable, and you don't need our worship. The Lord doesn't need our worship, but out of His compassion, He accepts. So, Prabhupada has mentioned that very nicely here. Although you are full in yourself, please, out of your causeless mercy, accept a little service from us, your eternal service, your eternal servants. So this should be the mood of our service every day. Generally, we forget this understanding. Oh, I'm such an expert in my service. I can do service so nicely. Whatever service, I'm so expert in it. You should know the Lord is not in need of any service from us. He is full. So out of His causeless mercy, you should request, please accept my service. That's what Ritvijas are saying. Ritviks are saying. Arhasi muhur arhattamarhanam. You're the most worshipable by the most qualified servants that you have in the spiritual world and everywhere. And who are we? But Arhasi muhur arhanam. Please accept our worship. Asmakam anupathanam. Asmakam, as far as we are concerned, we are your servants, my dear Lord. So please, we are requesting you, accept arhasi muhur arhanam. Please accept our worship. Asmakam anupathanam namo namaha. We offer our obeisance to you again and again. Iti ethavat sat upashikshitam korhati. So this worship, arhanam, should be sat upashikshitam. It should be in accordance to the instructions of Sat. Sat upashikshitam. Not according to our mental concoction. That is why everything we do in devotional service, it has to be according to the instructions of the Vedic literatures, according to the instructions of the spiritual master, according to instructions of the previous acharyas. All of them are called Sat Upashikshitam. Sat means eternal. Satvata. These are the Vedic literatures, are eternal literatures, unchanging. The acharyas are fixed in eternal understanding, in their eternal position as servants of the Lord. We are not fixed in our eternal position. This life we are thinking, I'm a man, I'm an intelligent man, I'm this, I'm that. Next life we'll be in some other, we'll be situated in that position. So we are not eternally situated. We are temporarily situated according to our body. Sattvatas means they are situated as eternal servants of the Lord. They know their position. We don't know our position. We get bewildered by our position. That's our situation. So, Sat upashikshitam ityetavat Sad upashikshitam. So one has to offer arhanam to the Lord. Sat upashikshitam. This is one of the things that Srila Prabhupada teaches us, isn't it? Anything we hear, anything we want to understand, we want to know whether it is according to the previous acharyas, according to the Vedic literatures, confirmed by the spiritual master. The Vedic literatures are eternal literatures. Acharyas, they have been there for so many thousands of years, so many acharyas who had perfected and who have served the Lord. But the spiritual master gives us a contemporary view how we should follow the Vedic literatures and the previous acharyas according to our present circumstances. That's what the spiritual master does. That's why Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So, Sad Upashikshitam means according to Vedic literatures and authorized acharyas. We are not actually aware of you, but we can follow. We can simply offer our respectful obeisances again and again as instructed by the Vedic literatures and authorized acharyas. This is Sat Upashikshitam. When we were doing Little Krishna animation, we were doing some research and looking for different stories, the Leelas of the Lord as described in the Bhagavatam. But then our script writer had told, that's the main story, main Leela from the Bhagavatam. Please give us some small anecdotes in Krishna's life. So we were thinking where to get. Then we got I think we did some internet search those days also. And we got some stories written by some people. But then when we analyzed, those were some impersonalist creating some stories. We cannot accept that because it is not Sat Upashikshitam. It has to be in the Vedic literatures or by the authorized acharyas. That is why when we were researching like that, we came across a nice Leela from Garga Samhita. Not so commonly known, but it is there in Garga. And Garga Muni was the priest of Nanda Maharaj's house, family. So we came across a very interesting Leela there. And Krishna used to go and steal butter from the gopis' homes. And the gopis would become so worked up and they would come and tell Yashoda, your son is stealing butter in our homes and distributing it to the monkeys, and we go there to do our family, to take care of family. All the butter pots are empty. And all the monkeys are becoming fat eating this butter. And your son is the cause. And Yashoda looked around and Krishna was sitting there. And Yashoda asked, Krishna, why are you doing this? And and Krishna said, Mother, why should I go and steal butter in their homes? There is so much butter in our house. And so Mother Yashoda said, yes, that is true, gopis. There is so much butter. Why will he come and steal in your house? No, he comes and does this. So Mother Yashoda said, next time you see him, you catch him red-handed. When he is stealing the butter, catch him and bring him to me. And then I'll deal with him. So they were all satisfied and they went away. And they were doing their household work. And next occasion, they found Krishna stealing butter with the gopis, with the monkeys and with other gopas. And they slowly went behind. Mother Yashoda has told, catch him red-handed, bring him to me, I'll punish him. So they went stealthily, caught him. And so Krishna was stuck. Now looking, Gopi is very angry. And she starts walking briskly. And Krishna is running behind, she's holding his hand very, very firmly. And then walking. Krishna has all mystic powers. He transforms himself into her own son. And this gopi is firmly holding the hand and coming to Yashoda. Yashoda, you told me I should catch Krishna and bring. See, I have brought him. And Mother Yashoda looks and says, I think you are a little bit tired, fatigued because of your household work. Look whom you have brought, your own son. And she looks, and it's her own son. And then, where did you come from? And the boy is her son. She doesn't know what to say. And then Mother Yashoda says, no, don't worry. You go, take care of you. And then she doesn't know what happened. She comes back and she is walking back to her house. And again she looks, it's Krishna back there. So, all of these kind of wonderful Leelas. But we got this from Garga Samhita, from an authorized Vedic literatures. And hence we were very careful. Because this is the training that Srila Prabhupada has given. It has to be Sat Upashikshitam, as the priests are mentioning. Just see what priests are mentioning thousands or millions of years ago, that Srila Prabhupada is training all of us in. Sometimes we go to meet some big scholar or some talk somebody somewhere is happening, we have to go. When we hear, what do? Whoever that man is talking something about spirituality, we have our filter. Whatever he is saying, we will see whether it's according to Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. And if he is saying something off, we'll say, this is not wrong, this is not correct. And if he is saying rightly something from the Shastras, something from the acharyas, we immediately may, this is right. See how Prabhupada has trained us? Sat upashikshitam. So, Sat upashikshitam korhati puman. Otherwise, kaha arhati. Otherwise, how can we understand you? Kaha arhati. How can we understand you? The priests are saying. Because puman prakriti guna vyathikara matihi. When ordinary people like us, we are prakriti guna vyathikara matihi. Prakriti, material nature. Guna, the three modes of material nature that are operating in this prakriti. Vyathikara, and because of this prakriti guna vyathikara, transformations and combinations. So it is a interflux, it's a complex flux of the modes of material nature in prakriti, and we are matihi, we are absorbed in that. Right? That's what we are. How I'll be praised by others, how I'll become the master, and how everyone will respect me, and how I can have my enjoyment. This is what our mind is absorbed in. This is prakriti guna vyatikara matihi. That's what all our normally the conditioned soul's consciousness is. In every situation, every opportunity, guna, prakriti guna vyatikara matihi. Once, a devotee told Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, sometimes I fall into Maya, and Prabhupada interrupted him. No, you don't sometimes fall into Maya. You're always in Maya. Sometimes fall into Krishna consciousness. This is our situation. This is the fact. That's why here, Matihi, whose mind is absorbed. In what? Prakriti guna vyatikara. In the transformations of the material modes of material nature in this world, which is dictating us. Passion makes us work hard. I must become the Lord. Ignorance makes us lazy. No, I don't know. This is all boring, this life. And when we are under the influence of Sattva Guna, we will be little more inspired to do. But sometimes under too much of Sattva Guna, and we will become carried away by the peaceful life that Sattva Guna gives. So in this way, these three gunas are vyatikara. Their transformations are happening, and matihi, our mind is absorbed in that. See, this word matihi means consciousness, mind, intelligence, heart. All of these words mean the word matihi. And matihi, our heart absorbed in, our mind absorbed in, our intelligence absorbed in, our consciousness absorbed in. Seen elsewhere in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahalad Maharaj says, Matirna Krishne Paratasvato va Mito Bhipadyeta Gruhavratanam. Prahalad was talking to his father. My dear father, your mind, your consciousness is not, you cannot develop Krishna consciousness because you are Gruhavrata. Gruhavrata means one who is devoted to his home. Actually, Prabhupada explains, devoted to home means, first home is this body. For the soul, this body is the first home. So anybody who is devoted to this body is a Gruhavrata. Next, this body is in a certain family, and all that family, they live in a Gruha. So that family and that griha, vratanam, devoted to that. So sometimes that griha, our home, we expand that, all of my community. So like this, it starts with the first griha, the body. So Prahalad Maharaj is telling, my dear father, when you are dedicated, devoted to your home, body, family, palace, community, material world, Matirra Krishne, you cannot develop Krishna Matihi. Krishna Matihi means when our heart is absorbed in Krishna, the source of everything. Prabhupada used the word International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Right? And Prabhupada coined this word Krishna Consciousness. And Prabhupada also says he got this word Krishna Consciousness from Rupa Goswami's text. Shri Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matihi. Matihi, absorbed in. Bhavita Matihi. When our consciousness is imbued with, immersed with, what? Krishna Bhakti Rasa. When we are in the material world, material consciousness, Jada Rasa, Bhavita Matihi. That is our situation. Right? Jada Rasa of this material world. I should become the Lord, I should enjoy. So this is Jada Rasa. It will not satisfy us. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matihi is Krishna consciousness. That is why when devotees met, when people met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would bless them by saying, Krishne Matirastu. It means, may you be Krishna conscious. Krishne Matihi. Krishne Matirastu. If they were already devotees, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would bless them by saying, Krishne Matirahu. May you always remain in Krishna consciousness. May you not forget. And if they were not common people, he would say, may you become Krishna Matirastu. So here, Prakriti Guna Vyatikara Matihi. When we are absorbed in this kind of a material consciousness, in that state of consciousness, Matihi, Anishaha. That is what the sages, the priests are saying. What is the meaning of this word Anishaha? We all have some acquaintances by name Anish. Right? Anish means, Anishaha has multiple meanings. One meaning is Vishnu. Because Ana Ishaha. One who has no other controller, no other master. He is called Anisha. Here there is another meaning of the word Anisha. Isha means control, power, master. Anisha means no control, no master, no mastery, no power. You see how Sanskrit works. Here, Prakriti, Guna, Vyatikara, Matihi, Anishaha. Anishaha, who is most incapable. Prabhupada's translation. Anishaha means powerless. Somebody who is Prakriti, Guna, Vyatikara, Matihi, he is powerless. He has no ability to understand the Lord. That is what they are saying. He has no ability to understand the Lord. Who is the Lord? Because his Matihi is Guna, Prakriti, Guna, Vyatikara, Matihi. As long as we are absorbed in material consciousness, we will not be able to, we are powerless to understand the transcendental position of the Lord. That is why Srila Prabhupada, the first sentence of the purport is, The Supreme Personality of Godhead has nothing to do with material perception. Even the impersonalist Shankaracharya says, Narayana Paro Vyaktat, Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is beyond material conception. So this is the position of the Lord. He is beyond material conception, and we who are absorbed in material consciousness are powerless in understanding Him. So, Anishaha, about what? Means most incapable, powerless. About what? Ishvarasya, Parasya, Prakriti Purushayoho, Arvaktanabihi. This Lord, He is Ishvarasya, Prakriti Purushayo Parasya. The Lord who has appeared before us, He is actually transcendental to this material world and all the material living entities. Ishvarasya, Parasya, Prakriti Purushayoho. That is the position of the Lord. And He is Arvaktana, Arvaktanabihi. Arvak means Arvak Shataha. Shata means 100. Arvak Shataha means He is below 100. That is the meaning. Arvak Shata. Arvak means below, under 100. Arvak Shata, below 100. Here, Arvaktanabihi. So here it means somebody who is Prakriti Guna Vyatikara Matihi, he is Arvaktanabihi. He is not capable. He is below, under, incapable. Arvaktanabihi, which do not reach up to, which are of this material world. His Matihi cannot reach up to Ishvarasya, Parasya, Prakriti, Purushayoho, Ishvarasya, Matihi, Arvaktanabihi, cannot touch. So when we are in material consciousness, we cannot comprehend, we cannot perceive, we cannot understand the transcendental position of the Lord. This is what the sages are, the priests are saying, seeing the Lord in that place where the Lord has appeared. That's why it says, Arvaktanabihi Nama Rupa Akritibihi. Ishvarasya Parasya Nama Rupa Akritibihi Arvaktanabihi. For a material consciousness, it is beyond the Lord's name, the Lord's form, the Lord's attributes. What is the Lord's name? What is the Lord's form? What is the Lord's attributes? We cannot touch that with our material consciousness. Arvaktanabihi Nama Rupa Akritibihi Rupa Nirupanam. Rupa Nirupanam. Rupa means form, but here Rupa means what is His form, what is His position. That is why Rupa, of your nature or position. Ishvarasya, Parasya, Nama Nirupanam. Nirupanam means in ascertaining, in determining, in defining. In Nirupanam, ascertainment, perception. So in Rupa Nirupanam, Ishvarasya, Parasya, Rupa Nirupanam, in comprehending, in understanding the position of the Lord, this Prakriti Guna Vyatikara Matihi is incapable. Anishaha Arvaktanabihi. It cannot reach, because the Lord is Prakriti Purushayo Parasya. So, this understanding that the Lord's position is transcendental, beyond material nature, is what the priests are pointing out here. And then the priests are saying, Sakala Jana Nikaya Vrijina Nirasana. Sakala Jana Nikaya. Jana Nikaya. Nikaya means a cluster or a gathering. Jana Nikaya means a group of or a population or mankind. Sakala Jana Nikaya Vrijina. Vrijina, sinful reactions. Nirasana, it can wipe out. The Lord, what can wipe out? The sages are going to say what it is. Shivatama, the Lord who is all auspicious. Shiva means auspicious. Shivatama means most auspicious. The Lord who is Shivatama, he has pravara guna gana. He is pravara means most excellent. Pravara guna gana. The Lord has wonderful qualities, innumerable wonderful, excellent qualities, and those wonderful, excellent qualities of the Lord, ekadesha, even a portion of it, kathanat, even describing even a portion of those great transcendental qualities can sakala jana nikaya vrijina nirasana. Even a part description of the Lord's wonderful qualities can wipe out the sinful reactions of all mankind. Rite, except this, there is no other way in which one can understand, one can wipe out the sinful reactions and understand the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Rite, except. So, Sakala Jana Nikaya Vrijina Nirasana Shivatama Pravara Guna Gunaika Desha Ekadesha Kathanat Rite. Even a small portion, even a little attempt to glorify the Lord, to describe the Lord, is so auspicious. That is the auspicious path, and that can free us from all sinful reactions. And this is our hope. So this is how the sages are saying, the chanting of your auspicious transcendental qualities will wipe out the sins of all mankind. Sakala Jana Nikaya. That is the most auspicious activity for us, Shivatama. And we can thus partially understand your supernatural position. And by doing that, we hope to understand your supernatural position. So here, I'll just read this paragraph, these sentences. Out of his, we cannot conceive the name, form and qualities of Sri Krishna through our material senses. Because of this, other names for the Lord are Adhokshaja and Aprakrita. See, Prabhupada is writing in the purport, which indicate that he is beyond any material senses. Out of his causeless mercy upon his devotees, the Lord appeared before Maharaj Nabi. Similarly, when we are engaged in the Lord's devotional service, the Lord reveals himself to us. This is our process. Not that we are going to understand by our scholarship, by our intelligence, by our expertise, we are going to understand. No, we engage humbly in devotional service, and being pleased by our devotional service, the Lord will reveal himself to us. This is our prayer. Sevon mukho hi jihvada swayameva spuratyadaha. This is the only way to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these are wonderful transcendental truths. The priests are mentioning millions of years ago, and we see how Srila Prabhupada He's teaching us all these important principles. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.